Can we come on in, have a seat? Coming in for this session?
Can you see?
You ready? Okay. You ready?
Okay. Can you use that?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
But yes. All right, thank you.
Yeah, because they were complaining that the slide wasn't seen on the Zoom.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we're ready here. It's 11:45. Let's go ahead and start. We have the ethics of I can't read it. Pull up the.
Oh, if you can understand, up to the right,
Yeah,
I think there's something that dropped down that says get rid of that.
the three little buttons on the
Top
very
right.
top right there. More.
Okay, that's good.
All the way up. Yeah. Look up there just to get rid of the top part. You say, okay, you're being recorded. The three little buttons on the very far right where it says more. All the way up, all the way up. And then go down, yeah. And then on that bar there, take that all the way to the right. Oh, okay.
That's another way to do it.
Okay. It worked. Okay. We're ready with the ethics of understanding biblical geography for accurate translation into Indian Sign Language with Praveen Kumar, who is with Door International. He's a Bible translation consultant specialized in sign languages, and he serves as the coordinator of Door's consulting services in Asia. Welcome.
Thank you. Technology can increase your attention at some time. Okay, to give you an introduction to my paper, my presentation. Most of you are hearing people who can speak. So when you read the Bible talks about a geographical feature or somebody is moving from this place to that place. Did you ever thought of those places or how that geography was? I think probably not, because I'm also a hearing guy. But for the deaf people, it is different. They like to know how it was. So I'm trying to, so when you are signing, you have to show that. I will give you more idea about sign language later, but let me. Okay, again, technology. So ethical values for translation. So I will be looking at Andrew Chessman's discussion on ethics, clarity, truth, trust, and understanding. So Chessman, in his book, explains that it is crucial to focus on the speaker's intended meaning. Linguistic clarity can be described in the terms of the hearer's perception of the speaker's intention. If the hearer gets the correct perception of the speaker's intention, then that can be considered a clear translation. About truth, according to Chessman, the faithfulness should be towards the author's intention in producing the text. Translations are the cultural bond and specifically targeted to a cultural situation. Faithfulness depends on what people choose to call a translation at a given time in a given culture. There is no universally accepted borderline for faithfulness in the translation. And the trust. So I'm talking about a lot of theories, but the summary of this is the trust has to be about towards the scripture, what you are translating, the scripture or whatever you're translating. Your trust you have to be faithful to that. And even your audience should accept you and they feel that, okay, this guy is faithful. So that is a summary of it. And understanding. The primary goal of communication is understanding. So I will summarize this because I have some videos in the end. So here, what is the summary of this is like, understanding is about avoiding misunderstanding. That is the understanding it talks about. And you have the target audience. How can you avoid the exclusion of any group from that audience? That is about the understanding we are going to discuss. Now, I should talk about sign language because I know most of you are very new to sign languages and maybe probably you are hearing about it here in this conference. So sign languages are not an alien thing, just like any other language in a linguistic sense. Sign languages arise spontaneously whenever deaf people have an opportunity to meet together. If we were all born in China, we will be speaking Chinese, right? Just like that. When the deaf people comes together, they start using their language. Sign languages are acquired by children raised by deaf families without instructions. So I think some people were asking, how do you learn sign language or who is teaching the children? When the children are together, they automatically then learn it, just like a child born in a hearing family. Sign languages appears more effortless than spoken languages because of their visual advantage. If I stand here and say, everybody know I'm asking you to stand. Or if I say, if I say that in my language, you don't understand that, right? So, but sign language, it's easy. So now about visual modality of sign languages. Sign languages exist in a physical modality. So you see, I can write things here. And when I'm speaking, you're not seeing anything. But when she signs, everybody is seeing it. It's physically present there. And it's expressed through visual, manual visual modality rather than oral or oral modality. So you can see that here. I don't need to explain. So to understand that better, I have a chart that might help you. The production, how the production happens. We use hands, face, and body. If you look at the interpreter, she will be using her hands and she'll be moving around and she's using a lot of expressions. So that is how, but for the oral community, it is voice and you produce all the sounds in your vocal apparatus. And the perceptions, we see everything through the eyes. The information comes to our mind, comes to our brain through the eyes. But for the hearing people, it's through the ears. The medium is visuals and the spatial, and for the hearing people, it's auditory and vocal. The structure is simultaneous and spatial, sequential and temporal. The last one is important. In sign language, at the same time, we can communicate different concepts. I'll be explaining that more. But in a spoken language, when you say one word, that word you have to finish to bring another word to add some concepts to that. If you cannot make a sound with all the concepts. But in sign language, we can do that. So sign space, if you notice her, she's standing in a place and, in a place and she's using a space, the space for signing. That is part of the language. She can use that to set things in signing. For example, butterfly. We have a sign for butterfly. I can just sign it as butterfly. So it doesn't mean anything. Or there's a flower and there's a butterfly on it. So in my sign space, I'm defining it specifically. This is on this side. Or if I want to show the flower on the other side, I can show that. If I show this picture and I'm putting it here and the butterfly here, then I am giving a wrong side because I have changed it. But this thing, the direction is, the perception of direction depends on the language. For American Sign Language, the perception will be from the signer, and for most of the Asian Sign Languages, it will be from the viewer's concepts, how the viewers see and understand it. So now I can even do more things with the space. So now I put the butterfly, and if the butterfly flies and I am trying to catch, I can place it with my eyes. Okay, so the butterfly is here. I'm going to catch it. I missed it. Then I see here. So now you know the butterfly is over here, right? So and I'm going to catch it again. So what I'm trying to say is, in sign language, when you put something in the sign space, with that you can make a lot of connections with your eyes, with your hands, with your placement, all those things you can do. And we are blessed with that. So now about maps, how you do that in, like, if I want to tell, you know, I came from Bangalore to Chiang Mai. So how we do that in sign language? I will show you a map. So in spoken languages, I will say, I was flying from Bangalore, then I came to this place, then I came to this place. In sign language, how you are seeing here, I can place it exactly like that. I will put the Bangalore here, and then put Bangkok here, then Chiang Mai, put the side for Chiang Mai. Okay, Chiang Mai. So I will just do, it's very clear. This is the flight. Let's go ahead. So it's the same thing we can do in our Bible translation. And now I will move to, I want you to understand a little bit about sign language. That's why I was giving that idea. So now about biblical geography. The Bible speaks of real people, places, journeys, and incidents. They carry theological, historical, cultural, and symbolic significance. Geographically in Bible is essential to translation because it helps readers to understand the Bible through a clear image. Image, I mean the visual image in their minds, and captures the intended feelings and emotions as the stories unfold across the land, sea, mountains, valleys, rivers, and cities, explaining God's plan to the generations. So through my next slides, I hope I'll be able to explain that more. Okay. Geographical terms with multiple meanings. So, what is it? Yes, Ponze. So now, Esther Rijo told he is working with the Nepali Sign Language. So they are translating it, and the Nepali signer, who is very familiar with Everest, he hears this name Mount, and he signs Mount. And then he comes to Mount Zion, he is visiting Israel, and he will be looking for the mount here. So in sign, the visual representation is very important. And geographical ambiguities. Sorry. So in Bible, we have place names like Asia, Asia Minor, Asia Province of Rome, and also we have Asia as the continent. So when you sign Asia, you have to decide what are you talking about. Otherwise, they will think Jesus was walking through, or Paul was walking through Asia in China and maybe in Thailand. Abstract and symbolic geography. There are abstract concepts like end of the earth in this verse, Acts 1:8. Okay, now I have to run. So here we have Jerusalem. So you know where is Jerusalem? It's in Judea. So how you are going to present that one? Then Samaria, how you are going to connect it? And then how are you translating the concept of end of the earth? So here we will be using the hybrid style. And so then geographical terms with the narrow and broad senses. Wilderness, you all are very familiar with that. So it's a pastoral land. You won't find it there. You'll be finding this. And you know what Mark Twain was talking about it. In Jordan, there's a special kind of sheep and goats that can eat rebels. Overlapping natural and cultural concepts. The Sea of Galilee. For us who are from the beach side, this is not a sea. And overlapping natural and land cultural concepts. So this is about Jerusalem to Jericho. So when you read your Bible, what comes to your mind when you say about Jerusalem to Jericho? So it has a specific contextual information. You know, that road was dangerous and it looked like this. When we communicate that to the deaf signer, then he can bring those concepts and feeling into his translation. Political boundaries, as you all know, Israel have been changing their map very frequently, even now. And travel and movement of people. In Genesis, I was thinking of showing you the video of this translation, but as we have 10 minutes, I will run. But this idea is there. So when you have the map, when they have the idea of, okay, how this happened, this is about four kings coming to attack the five kings. So when this is in their mind, they can place it very well and they connect it exactly how it is there in the map. I was supposed to show it, I'm not showing it. Biblical incidents with importance to geographical features. So now Joshua, this is my translation team. So when we were translating Joshua, they asked me a question. Praveen, see, the eye is there, Joshua is on the other side, and the soldiers are on this side, and there is a city in between them. How did they saw Joshua giving the signal? And I was like, he didn't tell me that. So then I have to do the research. It goes like this. So the scouts were there and the soldiers were here. They are hiding there in the valley and Joshua is on the other side. So from there you can clearly see him. And when they are signing, they have this map to show how the soldiers went for hiding and how Joshua traveled. And they sign exactly like this so that they get it accurately. If I'm not giving this information, then that will be like, they might think I'm not telling the truth, or this is a fictional story, not the truth story. Now should I show the video? Maybe if anybody is interested to see the video, you can come, I will show you the video. I don't think I have time. If I have time, I will show you. So then it's not that easy all the time. Sometimes we have challenges like Exodus. Where did they cross? Where is Piharoth? You get confused. Everybody is just putting a question mark, this side or that side, or where was it? So we do get into challenges, troubles also. So what are some ideas to overcome it? Study the text and other available resources. Use pictures, maps, like I showed, and more information. Sometimes we have a session in our Bible that explains how it happened, where it happened, and all those kind of information. And translation has to be deaf-friendly. What I mean is, me as a hearing person, go and explain it to them, but I have to make sure that how do they understand it? How do they conceive it? How do they reproduce it? I have to give them that freedom. Sometimes I will find, oh, they do it like that, then I have to accept it. And we do need to develop more deaf-friendly tools. And what is the ethical issue here? Lack of accessibility. Deaf people cannot go. If a hearing person can go and do the research and find the place and how it was and all, but there is no resources for the deaf. And if you are not doing it correct, then we are communicating misunderstanding. Because in sign language, you cannot put something and just leave it like that. You are communicating something. If you are communicating, that is communicated, and if you are not communicating, that is misunderstood. And failing to communicate the original author's intention, failing to meet the demands of the text and the target audience, failing to respect visual modality of sign languages, if you are not respecting what I was showing before. And for my conclusion, translating biblical geography into sign languages demands ethical effort to make the invisible visible. It is not merely about locating places, but about making sacred landscapes meaningful in visual, spatial ways. The ethics of understanding ensures that deaf audience can fully grasp the movement, and meaning of the biblical world. So that is my conclusion. Do I have more time? Still have 5 minutes. Great. So I'm a good runner. Okay, I will try to show you. Okay, this was the first one I wanted to show you guys. So it's about the 4 kings coming to attack the 5 kings. Is it clear? So you can see he placed the 5 kings over here. Okay. So it's talking about the past. So they were captured and they have to pay the taxes to that guys over there. And when they rebelled. See, the 4 kings joined together with their armies. They started coming together and so now then we added the map to make it more clear. You can see the sign will be marching to what is there on the map. I will play it a little faster. See, it's changing the direction now. Do I still have 2 minutes or 1 minute? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is so this is actually a draft. You have not finalized this. I just wanted to show you. Here, it's about Jericho, how Joshua is sending the soldiers to hide. It's night, Joshua, the soldiers. See, they are placing where the direction of where they are going. You saw it in the map. So they're going through the valley and they're hiding there. Joshua didn't go, he was staying back. Next one is a long one. How many minutes I have?
2 minutes.
Okay. So when you say stop, I will stop. So it's talking about the next day morning. see he was signing this, the valley, and the other mountain on that side. So the other group was going this way, and this group is going that way. There is a valley between them. He is again selecting few from the group, 5,000, telling them to go and hide in the northern side. So now all the participants are ready. Some are on the other side, some on this side, and Joshua is standing on the other side. I is in the center. So now the king of I is saying, see, he's looking at that side and seeing the soldiers. So for a deaf person, that is very clear because in their mind, who are staying there is still there. Here, he is not going to attack like that because there is a valley between them. So he has to come down like this to the Araba. Group were hiding there, now going and attacking. So this is very clear. They are pretending, right? So this is again showing the geographical feature of wilderness. There's a sign that shows it's a wilderness, it's a plain area where they come running towards. I think.
Okay. Have questions, feel free to ask them. I'll let you take them. The signing questions. Go ahead.
Just a quick one, was that an avatar or is it life?
Live person.
Okay.
We would love to have an avatar because in India we have that challenge, showing the face. So you have questions. If I know, I will enlighten you. Otherwise, the light will be off.
Thank you. You've already enlightened a lot. I don't know sign language, so this was very informative. My question is you've chosen a battle that has a lot of description. And there's a lot of passages we don't have that description. Is there a way in sign language to indicate uncertainty about the spatial relationship between things? For example, Harry Harm caught me, and he wanted to know on what side of the road, so that Jesus and the Samaritan woman, on what side of the road was the well? Was the woman looking at Mount Gerizim, or was she her back to Mount Gerizim? And I don't even know how to begin to answer that. So do you just have to choose something, or do you have a way to indicate this uncertainty about the relationship?
Yeah, nice question. Well, actually, I put something in my presentation, but I forgot to tell. It's about, it depends on translation. If it is specifically telling, here it's telling Bethel and I, and west of I. So I have to specifically show that. But in the Good Samaritan, that story, it's not specifically told. So you have the freedom to place how you are setting it up. Because we don't know. but the directions are very important. So what I was, these guys are very good interpreters. I'm not talking about them. If somebody calls me as an interpreter, I'm a very bad interpreter. So, and the doctor did a scan and they have to do a surgery on you, on your left kidney. And I interpret it as, or explain it as the right one. You know what will happen, right? Yeah, how dangerous it is.
This is very interesting to me. I'm the director of Jerusalem Center for Bible Translators and teach the historical geography course. And AD and I share a passion for biblical geography. My question to you is, who's doing the resources, the research and developing materials based on what? Is it possible that you could have key people come to Israel? I like to say you can see Israel through videos. You can hear Israel through audio, but you can't smell the land unless you're there. And if you're in the meat market of the old city, you don't want to do that. But so can key people come to Israel? We have had, the Jerusalem Center has had 2-week Land of the Bible courses before, and it's been very effective. Then with people who can't come, using Bible Places materials, putting together resources for that. Is that something that you're working on? Is something we can help with? So that's what.
Surely we will love to have your help. And our consultants in their training program, one thing is they have to go to Jerusalem and learn. Nowadays we are even sending people to go there and study. For example, Natasha is sitting there. She has been there, is living in Israel for 2 years. Yeah, the deaf group also have been there, and they have been going around the land and videoing and filing it. But still, we will allow to, my boss is there, maybe we can talk later, because that's a big need. We went to your, I think, is there? Yeah, we went and saw your video, I mean, the DVDs, and we already asked him, is there a possibility for us to partner? Because those resources are going to be a very big help for us.
Thanks so much. It was really interesting. I'm working with the British Sign Language Project on translating Genesis, and we spent a very long time on chapter 14. So it was good to see you. I'll show you my video later on of what we've been working on. But the question I was to ask, one of the things we've struggled with is consistency of placement across different clips. So maybe in one clip we've got Jericho there, Jerusalem there, or whatever it is, and then a later clip we've been in the Garden of Eden, and where was the Garden of Eden related to other things? And then we look in a later clip, it's in a slightly different position. Do you have a process of going back and checking what the position was a bit earlier? And then sometimes in Genesis, it seems like it doesn't actually make sense. So like in Genesis 21, Isaac's been sent off into the wilderness. And in Genesis 25, it seems like he's right there with Abraham and his people. And they're saying, no, this doesn't work because he's over there and now he's here. What are we going to do about that? Do you have a way to solve those issues? Some people would say, they've come from different sources. It's a text critical issue. Or do you try and make it make sense in sign language when he appears to be in two different places? If you have any thoughts on that.
Okay, so in the case of consistency, every time if the locations are involved in the story, the first thing I do is I get my translators familiar with the map. So then only we start. So we make the placements accurate. But there are incidents where Egypt is here. Now Joseph was coming, and the signer signed like they are bringing Joseph here, okay, as a slave, and the story finishes there. Now I forgot his name. The guy is buying Joseph, but he was here and buying from here. So that how happened to us. I think it's a consultant's responsibility to watch very carefully. Sometimes we miss things, but try to make that more clear. And about your second question, does anybody want to help me about that? Because I have not thought about that.
So there's gapping in the story, right? people have moved, but the story doesn't describe that movement. So I guess you would have to insert something to say he's now over here.
Yeah, it's also like different settings. When we make it's my mentor told me like what you're dealing with is like a movie, you know. So I can have a wider perspective and place things inside that, and I can go closer, and I can place things even inside that.
Just sort of comment on that bit where you said about checking. I know there was a session earlier about hearing consultants being involved in checking, and that issue of where things are placed seems to be a really key thing for actually watching the sign language and not just working from back translations or things like that.
Yeah, I think yesterday there was a presentation here about if you are you want to work with sign languages, better you learn sign language. I'm not against other group, but it helps.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll talk to you. Get one.
Good job. Oh.